Hello and welcome to this week's video on the channel. Back again looking at the 1969 MGB GT and giving you a bit of a restoration update. I haven't made a video on the MG in about 3 months time, just want to tell you what I've been up to and tell you what my plans are for the upcoming weeks and months. So I'm sure you're all familiar with this car. If you've been following the channel, you know I've had this for just over 2 years. If you've been watching the other videos in the channel, you'll know that I've rebuilt the top end of the engine with a new cylinder head. I've also more recently rebuilt the rear suspension with poly bushes and new springs. So this car has had a bit of work done to it, and I intend to keep doing that. Cosmetically, it's had new wheels and nice new chrome spinners there, which I think's really lifted the outward appearance of the car. So probably since the last video's been made, more minor jobs plus a bit more servicing, and I've picked up a few more problems. And door's locked from the inside, isn't that handy? So, things that have been done. Well, I was driving along a country road, put the brake on, got a nasty surprise when the brake pedal spring broke and hit me in the leg. So the brake was still functional, thankfully, but the pedal just doesn't rise back up again at the same pace. So I replaced that with a new spring and also did the one in the clutch at the same time, because I figured they're probably the same age. However, when I was down there, it seems I might have a bit of a leakage of hydraulic fluid from the brake and or clutch reservoirs. So that's definitely something I need to look into, make sure the steel doesn't get rotted away. And I think maybe at the same time I'm going to look into changing the fluid to silicon-based fluid, hydraulic fluid. If anyone has done this, I'd appreciate some advice on it. I know it's .5, whereas the original specification of an MG was not .5. I think it's probably .3, maybe .4. I need to look into it, do a bit of research, make sure it's doable. The nice thing about the silicon brake fluid is that it's not hygroscopic, so it doesn't attract moisture, and therefore you can avoid this. Please ignore this wiring. It is a project to get sorted. I've checked that it's all nice and safe, but it definitely needs tidied up, and not with refuse bag cable ties onto the steering column of all places. Previous owner to blame, not myself. While I'm in here, I have been using this a bit more. Done some longer trips, and in the hot weather it gets really hot in the cabin here. Now the gearbox is obviously just under there, and the exhaust runs, there's very little heat shielding underneath, and looking under the carpet there's next to no insulation. So now my next couple of jobs are actually going to be interior jobs, so whenever I'm doing that I'm going to lift the carpets and put some insulation underneath. I know there are some well-known sound deadening materials out there, but they are very expensive, and if anyone has any experience of anything that's a bit more reasonable price, please let me know. The main job in the interior is these seats. Now, the covers don't match, I've said that before, but they're really a bit saggy. The driver's seat not too bad, but you can even see in the passenger seat it's way down on the door side there, so the seats are going to need to be removed. I'm hoping to keep the covers because I think they're perfectly fine, and I wouldn't want to add brand new covers to an otherwise dated interior. So I'll hopefully be able to put new foam in them and new webbing, as long as I can safely remove the covers without damaging them. Another thing, gets a bit stiff putting it in first gear. So what I've done, I took the gear stick off, I cleaned around the selection mechanism, cleaned out the plastic bush and greased it all. It's improved a little bit, but it's still not great, so I wonder some more bulk rings and down within the selector fork, so that's a work in progress. I also did a fluid change and had great fun, because I didn't realise that the gearbox filler cap is behind here. I don't know what brain box in Abingdon in the 60s thought that was a good idea, but there you go. So that required some yoga type contortion to actually get that done. Otherwise in here, I would love to get this metal dashboard off and taken away to get powder coated to really just tidy the whole interior up. I found someone who can do the correct wrinkle finish, so that would be nice, but I would imagine that's quite a bit of work to get all that out without disturbing anything. So that's what has been done inside and what's going to be done in the future. So my baby son has been playing in here and has decided to move the mirror on me, so better fix that. And that needs a new sucker on it, so we'll need to look into finding one of those. Oh yes, headlining. This is not ideal. So really, before I do the seats, which is going to lift the level of the driver and passenger, this needs to be done first, because then, or my head's already touching this. I'm 6 foot tall, so my head's already touching this, so really that would need to be stuck back up properly before tackling the seats. So interior job, may need to wait until the winter, because I really want to get the use out of the car in the summer, but right, what I'm going to do now is jack the car up and I'll show you what I've been up to underneath. And catch me in a second once the car is safely up on axle stands and I can show you what I've been up to. Now that the car is safely jacked up on the axle stands, using my nice new Halfords jack. There is a product review made a couple of weeks ago. You can catch that on the channel if you're interested. We'll have a look underneath. This might be hard to film on the iPhone, so bear with me. Did an oil change on the rear axle. Thankfully another previous owner managed to chew up the filler plug, so that I needed a new buy a new tool to get that plug out, so that was a bit of fun, but we got there. Underneath, I'd really like to get that axle cleaned up and painted. It's not particularly rusty, but I think it just could do with being smartened up. And now that the back of the car sits higher with the new springs, it is a bit more on show, so maybe a job for the future. All nice and clean under here. Suspension, checked it for tightness while I was under here. Exhaust is in good nick, though I would like to put a sports exhaust on. I'll move further in. As you can see, this car is really sound underneath. No serious rust, in fact no rust at all. It's been really well surface treated and protected from rust. Disappointingly, and I don't think I'm going to be able to demonstrate this very well on the camera, I was greasing the prop shaft. Both universal joint ends are badly worn, which wouldn't be a problem. Then the problem is that the splines are also worn, and there's give and play, excessive play really, the whole way, all three joints in that shaft. The universal joints could be changed. I've done it before and it's not too hard to do, but the spline is not really repairable, so I'm going to have to put a new prop shaft in, probably at about £70. So once I've saved up a bit of cash, I'll get one of those fitted. Other bits and bobs under here, I've been greasing the handbrake cable, and I've been greasing along the front. I won't jack the front of the car up tonight for you, but a few nasty surprises there with broken grease nipples and so on, so I've bought a spare packet of grease nipples and I'm just going to have to go back through that and fix that. But all the preventative maintenance is a great thing. So yeah, always checking underneath the car anytime it's jacked up. Make sure there's no rust appearing, nothing nasty, but pleased to report under here is really sound. Really the only area of slight concern is this, just under the driver's rear light, where you can see, I think that might be a bit of body filler has been bodged in there, so I'm going to have to take this bumper off, cut that out and weld a new bit in before it gets any worse. The rest of the car, as you can see, is very, very sound, and I really intend to keep it that way. So, I've come back round. So, there you go, 1969 MGB GT. Plenty of work done, some more jobs to do, interior, new prop shaft, fix some grease nipples underneath, all the servicing's up to date. Really pleased with this wee car. Hope to get it closer to perfection, but then it's an ongoing process. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the subscribe button to keep in touch and keep up to date with all the other projects. Plenty of exciting news coming soon, and I hope you've enjoyed that. If you want to comment, I reply to all my comments, and any feedback is always welcome. Thanks for watching, I'll catch you next week. Bye.